Today's the first meet and greet for the Royal Singapore, the Kings of Lion City. World title fight finally here in Singapore with Paulus Mbunda versus Mohammed Ridwan. These fights are backed up with Michael Dasmariñas going against unbeaten prospect called Manyo Plange. And then you've got Abdel Karoum from France, based here in Singapore, against Hu Keng Fai from Malaysia. And then to top that off, defending his WBC Asia Continental title, you've got Miracle Man, the Miraj Khan, versus Jono Taylor. So, first I'd like to say thank you, a huge thank you to Spartans Boxing Club here on 573 Balestier Road for putting us up today and hosting this press meet and greet. Thank you very much. Without your support, guys, in this boxing community, a lot of this wouldn't be possible. On top of that, I'd like to say thank you very much to Marina Bay Sands for being our presenter sponsor and making us one of the biggest events now in Asia, if not the biggest boxing event in Asia, I'd like to say on the planet, but let's see, it's all to be proven. On top of that, we have NutriFirst. Thank you very much for supporting the athletes with these great products from Muscle Farm. Then we have Fair Price. Thank you very, very much, Fair Price, for taking a leap of faith with Mohammed Ridwan and myself and the show and really demonstrating to get behind Singapore and raising the flag really high, uniting the nation through sport. Rumaf Fight Gear, thanks once again for being a long-term sponsor. So without further ado, I would like to bring on and introduce you to the fighters. So first, I'd like to introduce, he is the current light heavyweight WBC Asia Continental Champion, the Miracle Man, Miraj Khan. Welcome. How are you, mate? His opponent, unfortunately, from New Zealand won't be with us, so you have to direct your questions straight to Miraj. The next person I'd like to introduce, he's based here in Singapore. He's all the way from France. He has a fantastic amateur record. He's 3-0 with 3 knockouts in the professional ranks. He's the challenger for the IBO Oceania welterweight title. Without further ado, let me welcome Abdel Karoum. The champion of the IBO Oceania welterweight title from Malaysia, 4 wins, 4 KOs, the meme machine, Hu Keng Fai. Now we're moving towards our main event of the evening. And this man needs a big introduction. We have brought to Singapore a world-class fighter. He is an ex-Olympian who reached the quarterfinals in the Olympics in 2004. He has represented his country on numerous occasions, including Olympics and the Commonwealth Games. He is the former WBO World Champion. He is the former 2-time IBO World Champion. He is Namibia's Sportsman of the Year. He is Athlete of the Year. He is the most decorated African fighter to date. Without further ado, let me welcome to you, The Rock, Paulus Mbunda. And now we're moving forward to the next guy on our list, the local hero, the undefeated one, the chosen one. He's currently 11-0 with 8 knockouts. The guy has never been stopped. He's a 3 times bronze medalist. He is someone now who has really brought the sport of boxing to the highest point ever in Singapore. He is ranked number 21 on BoxRec throughout the world. He is the mandatory challenger and the #1 contender for the IBO World Super Bantamweight title. Let me introduce you to the chosen one, Mohammed Ridwan. Thank you, guys. So what I'd like to do now is open it up to the press for, I want to really ask as many questions as you like about the fight. We've got a great fight card, including heavyweight fights. We've got the world title. We've got Das Marinius, the IBO current bantamweight world champion on the card. It's probably one of the best nights of boxing pretty much on the planet on the 29th of September. So feel free and fire your questions to the guys, and over to you.
Hello, yeah, Scott Cesali here from Straits Times. Just to clarify first, Das Marinius, his fight is a non-title fight?
Correct, yeah, non-title fight. He's fighting 10 rounds against Manyo Plange from Ghana, who's currently 17-0 with a 94% knockout ratio.
Nice. And I mean, just generally, can you just give us an idea how excited you are? I mean, you brought Paulus in. He's a very experienced fighter. World champion, WBO, IBO. A fighter of his caliber, for you to be able to bring him onto your show. What does that mean for Ringstar and for Raw Singapore?
Yeah, good question. I mean, that means everything. This is about bringing class, to Singapore, and Paulus is undoubtedly a world-class fighter. He's proved himself in the ring as an amateur and as a professional. It's a huge ask of Mohammed Ridwan, but Mohammed Ridwan's ready for the test, and he wants this world title, so does Paulus. And everything about Ringstar, we do things this way. We don't make things easy. Anyone who knows, as I'm the manager and promoter, that I don't make this easy for you. I ain't going to put somebody in front of you that you should be able to knock out. I'm going to make it very, very, very difficult. Prove to the world that you are the best, you are number one, and you are worthy of this title. So yeah, I'm very, very excited and honoured to have the class such as Paulus here with us today in Singapore fighting for a world title.
Question for Scott, Jonah from the New Paper. So adding on to the comments earlier on, what kind of fight do you think we can expect given the kind of card that you've laid out?
With all of the fights?
Yeah.
Difficult to say. I mean, I always say anything can happen. You've got a lot of undefeated guys on this card. I think you've got a total of, in the actual championship fight card, I think you've got a total of 6 losses between 4 fights. I mean, it's incredible. I would say that Das Marinius, he's a fantastic puncher, as we all know. He destroyed Kareem Guerfi in the 4th round to win the IBO title. But he's going against someone now that's destroyed every single opponent he's ever been put in front of. So a lot can happen on that big test for Michael. With Paulus and Ridwan, it's very hard to say. They're both, The Rock, he comes forward, he's got great cardio, he's very, very strong. He doesn't give up, he's got a huge heart. He's tasted the canvas before and then got up off the canvas and won a world title. So he's going to be strong. Ridwan, he's got an iron chin. He has been tested on the last few fights and now he's stepped up in class. But Ridwan is sharp, is sharper than I've ever seen him in his entire career. He looks ready, so this could be fantastic. The Miracle Man, Miraj Khan, anything can happen. That's why he's a Miracle Man. He's either going to get knocked out or knock the guy out. Hopefully it's the former. Sorry, the latter.
Hey, watch it.
Hugh Kang 5 versus Abdullah Karoum. What a fight. These two young guns, right? I mean, look, they're both very new in their pro career. They have limited experience in the pro ranks, and yet fighting for quite a well-established regional title. They both like to fight. They both want to go head-to-head. So again, the fans and the crowd are going to see a fantastic night of boxing, pure 50-50 matchmaking built on integrity.
Hello, Anwar from Rita. Question for Ridwan. Undoubtedly, this is the biggest fight of your life. So, how do you see the fight? How's your what was leading up for your preparation? I think there's a month plus, is it, before the fight? So, what anything special any specific overseas training or whatever that planned for you? Thank you.
I think for every fight that we approach, it's gonna be a step up every time. So. Especially for this fight, we're flying in two sparring partners. They are world title contenders to help me prepare for Paulus. Other than that, we're just gonna be staying here because with the support from Fair Price, so we were able to get our training camp to be done here in Singapore. So it's comfortable here, and I think I'm just gonna train hard every day, do what's necessary to win. So we're gonna come up with a battle plan, the perfect battle plan to go against The Rock.
How special is the fight for you? This fight?
Obviously the fight.
Previous fight.
This fight definitely means a lot because I think this is the first time that that the Singapore is going 12 rounds for a legit world title, and this is something that's a milestone for Singapore sports and especially for Singapore boxing. And in the amateur scenes, I think this will help the amateur scenes and also for the professional scenes. It's good to be the trailblazer, and with Ringstar leading the way, I think this is gonna take us places. This is gonna take us being noticed worldwide.
Ridwan, you mentioned that you're going to come out with a battle plan, and of course you said before that you like to put your opponents to sleep. So is that still the plan for now?
That's always the plan. I mean, we always go into fights looking for the knockout. I mean, we don't want Paulus to make excuses like he's always done before when he loses. He will always say the judges is this or he's not ready and stuff like that. So the best way to take away whatever doubt he has in his head is to put him to sleep.
Abunda, welcome to Singapore. How many fights have you fought overseas, away from your?
Yeah, thank you, everybody. And good morning or evening or afternoon.
Still morning.
Or still morning. Yeah, my name is Paulus The Rock Ambunda El Jesus. It's my other name. To me, it doesn't matter that I'm away from home. I'm a warrior. I came to fight. I came to win. I've been there. And I want to be on top still. This is just a stepping stone, but I will take him very serious. He will go down. Whether it's in each round or in each any minute, he will go down. Sorry for the fans. I will disappoint you guys on the 29th.
So how many times, also the question he asked was how many times you fought away from home from Namibia?
Sorry. Yeah. 3 times. Yeah, I've been away.
This will be the 4th time, is it?
Yeah, this will be the 4th time. Been away. I was in Asia, I was in Philippines, so it's the same. So it doesn't mean, it doesn't give me any harm if I'm away with from my people at home.
Thank you.
Aisha from International News. For Paulus, what makes you different than the other fighter Ridwan has fight?
Can you repeat that again just a little bit louder? Sorry.
What makes you different than the other fighter Ridwan has fight?
What makes
Make me different
Yeah.
to fight Ridwan.
Yes.
No, only that I will be recognized as a 3rd world champion. Yeah, to him, I don't need. I don't think there is an obstacle or for him. To him, it's not an obstacle to me. So I'm ready to fight him, and I will win the title.
And how are you more likely to beat him?
How are you more likely to beat him?
That depends to his mistake. If any mistake he did, he's down.
Okay, questions for Ridwan. Other than winning, what is your main goal in your upcoming fight with Paulus? Your main goal in this upcoming fight?
My main goal is to be the decision for Paulus to make so that he will retire. He's too old, he's too slow, he's The Rock. He said he's got a secret punch to beat me, but I don't see any way how he can beat me. He's good, no doubt he's good, I respect him, but that's all he is, he's just good. There's nothing great about him, there's nothing great in what he does in the ring. His best days are over, his Olympics and whatever world title that he's got. He's the stepping stone for me. I'm not the stepping stone for him. He's The Rock.
Come on, you've got to come back with that, Ambunda. What? He said that you're a stepping stone because your name's The Rock. You get that, right?
Yeah, Ridwan. No, it's good. It's good when you are saying that I'm a stepping stone, but not me. Yeah, you are the chosen one. I'm the one who choose you to hit you with the rock.
Sorry, Scott. So Ridwan mentioned about, the opponent being at 38, and he's probably at the end of his career. So is that an advantage for Ridwan for this fight? Beside fighting in Singapore, and he's facing a 38-year-old fighter who probably,
Well, I mean, someone like Paulus, whether he's 38, or 48, you still got to be very cautious when you step into a ring with a guy like that. That's just what it is. I mean, recently look at Manny Pacquiao at 39 destroying Lucas Matisse, and getting a knockout that he's not had in 9 years. Anything can happen. That's what makes this fight so great. Home advantage. I mean, look, home advantage is one of those things where obviously you're more. How would you put you more at home because you're fighting at home? But let's not forget, with the IBO world title, all the judges have flown in from California, New Zealand, Australia. So there's nothing there that's I make sure everything is so neutral. A decision is a decision. If you don't want to go to the scorecards, one of these guys has got to stop the other guy. As for Paulus, age 38 now, I mean, look at him. He's strong, he's fit, he's full-time in the army, in the military. And he's head of their fitness program. He runs 10 kilometers every single day. That's when he's not training for anything. So, and this guy's a bull. He's going to really, bring it for Ridwan. Ridwan does not have an easy fight, and he knows that. But he's never had one. He never asked for one. Ridwan will fight anybody. If I can gone and got somebody else, I would have got him. But we need to get one of the top guys in the world. And Paulus is still ranked on box rate number 31 across the whole divisions, whole sanctioning bodies in the world. On top of that, he's the current WBC international silver champion. He's got everything. He's proved everything. He wants this fight. He's excited about it. He caught the plane. He said, "Right, Scott, I'm going to be here. I want to meet Ridwan. I want to go through the press conference." And he keeps telling me every day. He said, "Look, I love this country, and I can't wait to come back on holiday as the world champion." So he's very confident.
Question for Paulus. So correct me if I'm wrong, but you haven't had a fight for a long while, since December last year, I believe. So do you think that's going to put you at a disadvantage, and how have you been preparing coming into this fight, given that you've been out for such a long while?
Yeah. Let me go back. Let me take you back a bit, then coming back to your question. Age is just a number. I'm not yet old. I'm fresh and young. I'm at my peak time. There is no way I can be. A father is just a father. No matter how short or how tall you are, he's my boy. He's my boy, and I'm a father. I will be his lecturer. I will teach him. I will be his teacher on the 29th. All right, coming back to your question. December is just now. How old are we now? Or how month old are we now? We are only on the 9th or 6th or the 8th month. I just fought in December 31st. Yeah, I was scheduled to fight on the May day. Then they canceled the fight. So I have been active. I've been in the gym 24 hours. Then all of a sudden, he made a mistake to sign a contract to fight me for a WBO for an IBO world title. That's a mistake ever he did of his life, and he will not forget that.
This is for both Ridwan and Paulus. You guys have done some, I think, some video shoots and stuff like that where you all have faced each other, interacted with each other. Okay, for both of you, what's your assessment of the other guy as a fighter and as a person? In your interactions with each other, what do you think of the other person, the other fighter as a person? Maybe Paulus, you can go first. What do you think of Ridwan as a fighter and as a person?
No, Ridwan is a great boxer. He's a young and upcoming. He's hungry for success. But he got a lot of mistakes. He's still coming. He's our boy. We still have to groom him up. We have to teach him how to respect an elder in the ring. Thank you.
I think as a boxer, he's done. This is probably going to be his last fight. He's going to retire after this, and he's going to thank me after that for helping him make a decision. In terms of his boxing, like I said, he's good, but it's nothing great. There's nothing so special about him. He's slow. He comes forward. He's a walking punching bag. Like I said, he's an elderly. So I don't know what. I know, Scott, why do you make me punch an old man? Now you're making me the bad guy. But you know what, Paulus, I respect you outside the ring, but inside, it's gonna be difficult for you.
Hi, I'm Haziq from Channel News Asia. Just a question for Ridwan. You mentioned all this talk about stepping stone. Are you already thinking about what comes next after this fight in terms of where you're going, maybe into the 4 major organizations, or are you focused on this fight?
I think we always, me, Ray, Scott, we always have a discussion about where we want our goals to go to. But obviously, we're not taking this fight. We're not undermining our opponent, so we still focus on this fight. But we do know what path we want to take after we're done on 29th of September. But after we get the IBO world title and after we put Ambunda to sleep, then we will have a clearer vision where our next step will be. So our goal is always to get bigger fights, tougher fights, whether locally or internationally. And maybe one day one of the big boys will come up and call and say, Scott, I want to fight one of your guys, Ridwan. And that's the fight that we will be. That's the fight that we will want.
This is for Miraj. This will be your first defense, right? Since you've won the belt against Chase.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, just generally, how do you feel ahead of your first defense? How much does it mean to you to have the belt on the line and to defend it?
Honestly, there's no pressure. The belt doesn't mean anything to me. For me, I just love the fight game. And also, I hear Ringstar bought a ticket for my opponent to fly over here to meet me for this press conference, to have a face-off and all. And it's not even fight night and he's already afraid to come. So I really hope he shows up for the fight. I was planning to give him some boxing tips, pre-fight boxing tips, on how to throw the jab and cross and all of that. But I guess we'll have to wait till fight night. So I'm gonna put on a boxing school. School is in session.
Question for Ridwan. So you said earlier on this year that with this drop in weight class, you're going to be faster and stronger and going for the knockout, So in the past few months, how have you been training to try to get that speed up?
I think the speed has always been there since my amateur days. But now as we go pro, we've been working on the power every day, and I can feel it. I can feel it in my hands. It's something that I cannot explain, but I can totally feel it when I'm in the ring. And talking about the weight, I think I'm making the weight perfectly fine. I'm only about a few kilos away from fight weight. Everybody can see how out of shape he is. Round is still a shape, but yeah, but I just hope that he can make the weight then,
It's for Hui and Abdullah. It's not often you see opponents sitting next to each other looking quite relaxed, right? They are facing each other, right? Yeah. So you guys look relaxed. What's going through your heads ahead of your fight, both of you?
I'm relaxed because I know what I'm gonna do on fight night. I'm going to break him mentally and physically. He's a 3-round fighter. He's an amateur fighter. And I hope he has the cardio and gas tank to go for 10 rounds. Do you? I hope so.
I think Kang Fai dreamed too much. Is for me it would be just easy work. It's just one step for my future career, and you need to work very hard to come back to Malaysia and to train 24 hours, 7 days, because in 29th of September, I will just beat him. And I take the pleasure for do that.
Question for Paulus. We've all heard about your age and all that, but of course with age comes experience. You've been in a lot of fights, won a lot of titles. How will that experience help you in your fight against Ridwan?
So with your age and experience, how will that age and experience help you in your fight against Ridwan?
It's not an easy way to explain, but any or each and every opponent which I'm facing, it will tell itself, or he will feel the pain that the opponent or the person who is in front of me, he will come and tell you that, okay, now The Rock got an experience and he's hard hitting.
So Paulus, for obviously Singaporean fans, boxing fans, most of them have not seen you or videos of you. If you had to describe your style in the ring, ahead of September, what fans can see against Ridwan in September, how would you describe yourself?
Slow. The fan of Ridwan will broke in tears because they will see Ridwan down counting stars.
Maybe just to clarify with Scott first, Ridwan was supposed to fight Pipat Chaipon, but then it got rescheduled to Paulus. So can I just understand what went on behind the scenes?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Pipat Chaipon was a worthy opponent at the time, but unfortunately he had a fight coming up that he took, and he lost that fight and dropped out of the world rankings. You have to be. The good thing about the IBO is it's built on integrity. So if you're not correctly placed in the world rankings, you will not get the world title opportunity, and there's no way you can ring up somebody and try and work your way into that. So I said to his manager, I spoke through to him and said, this is what it is, and I'm all about integrity, so I'm not going to break any rules. So that also put us in a situation where we had to go right up in class, and we're not just talking the next level, we're talking another 5 or 6, 10 levels up to get Paulus. I mean, this was really a big step for us. So we sat down, we discussed it, and we looked at it with me, Ridwan and Ray. We always sit as a team, and we said, this is a very tough fight for us. But yeah, let's bring it. Let's do it.
Maybe just a follow-up from Ridwan then. Scott just said that, Paulus is a few classes up in terms of his skill. So would you feel that this would be a tougher fight than Pipat?
I think he meant few classes up by few classes in age. I mean, Scott and Ray has always said that he's tough, but that's all he is. He's tough, and there are levels to the game. You need more than toughness to survive, and I'm sure he's going to come forward. He's definitely tougher than Pipat Chaipon, I guess. But like I said, he's just tough, and tough is not enough to win me.
Next questions?
Okay, for Paulus, Ridwan is undefeated. So how confident are you that you're going to beat him?
Come again.
Ridwan is undefeated, so how confident are you in beating him?
I'm a record breaker. I broke a lot of guys who's undefeated, a lot of them, and he will be the 5th one. In his 12 fights, which it will be on the 29th, it will be his first knockout in the losses.
We'll get the guys to do the face-offs. If you want to have some one-on-one discussions with them, interviews with them to get a bit more feedback, please do so. So what I'm going to do now is just move the chairs, ask the gentlemen to step to one side. We'll start off with Abdul and Kang Fai, and then we'll move to Paulus and Ridwan, and then we'll move to me and Miraj.
Since Jonathan Taylor is not here, I'm fighting Scott, my new opponent.
Okay, guys, let's do the face-off, shall we? Okay, guys, so Kang Fai going for the defending his IBO Oceania title against Abdul Karim. Guys, face off. Face the crowd, guys, face the press. Okay, great. Good luck. Good luck. Well done, guys. Well done. Now we have Paulus Bunda against Mohammed Ridwan. Okay, guys, face off. Face the crowd, guys, and we're going to look beautiful. Okay, guys, get the photos.
Scott, you want to hold the belt?
Yeah, okay, good, sure. Good guy.
Still mine. And then you.
What's your boss? This is going to be a big fight, guys. Big, big, big fight. Biggest fight ever been in Singapore. One of the biggest fights in Asia. You're about to see Ridwan versus Paulus Bunda, the IBO world title. Okay, thank you, guys. Thank you. And then we've got Miraj Khan. Get your photos of Miraj Khan. What a great guy, great athlete, great champion. This is the man, yeah. Also endorsing now Nutrifield's product, as you can see.
Get your muscle palm on. Quiet.
Brilliant, thank you.